everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's nice to see you guys again. It's been a while. I have not live streamed in weeks, I think. And part of that issue was that I noticed on a few of my, on one of the live streams, my internet dropped, came back quickly, shocked everybody. But my videos were starting to lag and getting broke up voices. And I thought, oh, there's something wrong with my Wi-Fi here. I've got to fix this. So I didn't want to keep trying to do live streams and have it keep locking up and dragging and dropping. So I do have a new setup. I have an Ethernet setup. So hopefully we won't be having any more drops. And I thought it'd be fun to try and do a weekly roundup with a little bit more engagement. So I'm really looking forward to talking with you all again. And I have a squeaky chair. I just noticed that. And I'm seeing everyone's coming in, and that's wonderful. I did put restrictions on for comments today because Twitter is getting like a battle zone, and I wanted to reduce any trolls coming in here and bothering y'all. So hopefully, yes, I do have a new camera, Freddie. It's scary. It's a little too clear for me. It's a little too on point. But yeah, I do have a new camera. Thank you for noticing. And I hope the sound is better. I hope the sound is better. See, I have the Yeti. That was another thing we had trouble with, was the sound. I have a Yeti that I'm using today. And on one of my videos, I had a comment that my voice was popping. The audio was popping. So I stopped using that on a video, and I got out the old Apple with the microphone, and I had the same comments. So I still think it was my my wireless somehow that was affecting the audio. Mike has verdict in 30 minutes. That was fast. Wow. Okay, so I'll try not to squeak. I'm going to do my intro real quick, and then I'll say hello to everybody. Hold on.
Hi, I'm Laura, also known as The Real Laura B from Twitter, and now here on YouTube. I'm a researcher, new wave internet media, and commentator. I'm not a lawyer, nor offering any legal advice. Join me on a journey to review the world of celebrity lawsuits and current events. Let's get started.
Hey there again. So in case you noticed, I've changed my intro a little bit because with the trial over and less research into that, I don't feel like as much of a reporter as I do general media. I'm bringing a lot of media. Like today, these are not going to be articles I've written. I'm presenting other people's work. I'm commentating on it. But yeah, I'm still doing the deep dive researches like I did for the insurance. So instead of mainstream media, I am internet media, I think, is more applicable. So where is everybody coming in from? Thank you, Secret with Squirrel and Sunshine. I appreciate all your help. Hopefully it will be sweet in here. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that. There's so many that's being covered. I've been following one that Megan Kelly has been from PJ Media. She is out. I forget where. She's covering an abuse case where the mother, she feels she's there witnessing it. The mother was doing everything the doctors were telling her, and it was not an abuse situation. And it's really scary that Child Protective Services came in and took the child, and she's trying to fight back. Light Giver, Ontario, Canada. Hey there, how are you? Colorado, Light Giver. Yeah, we were pretty hot here. Then we just got overcast again. Oregon. Germany. Hello from Germany, one of my favorite places to visit. We lived in Holland and Luxembourg and made many a visit through Germany. Love the background. Yeah, I'm having a little fun changing things up. I'm in a craft room. I have a lot of pictures and whatnot behind there, personal stuff. So I figured I'd just cover it up. This is the best place for me to be. And yeah. So I thought today we would be covering, hey there, I just love y'all coming in. Thank you. I thought we would just cover the weekly roundup. We'll try and do this on Fridays. It's hard for everybody. I get that, but I want to get the full week in. People are going back to school. My daughter's back to work. South Africa, thank you, Cornell. Awesome. Texas and more, Ontario and Colorado. I love it. I forgot what I was saying. Yeah, my daughter's back after having the baby. I'll be babysitting two of them twice a week, Tuesday and Thursdays, and occasionally Fridays. So I'll be limiting my video making to when I can fit it in during naps and whatnot. And I have a few I've held back that I'll start putting out. Some interesting ones. Moving away from topics. Let's see, Johnny Depp, like 6 degrees separation, 4 degrees to, like we're still dipping our toes in, because I know that's what everybody enjoys. Liverpool. Thank you, Sandra. Texas, such a huge state. Yeah, I lived in Texas near Dallas. Yeah. Looks like more room. It does, doesn't it? It's a fake floor, too. The wood floor is not real. Giving you all my secrets. Anyway, yeah, Florida. Thank you. Okay, why don't we just go into the first story? This has been covered already. I'm not going to swoosh for later on. People can figure it out. Oh, 2 days to your baby is off first year university. My sister just sent her last one. They're finally an empty nester, just dropped her off. I'm seeing, it did a lot of kids going back to college and regular school now, depending on where you live here in the U.S. anyway. Looks like it's real. Thank you, Marge. Oh, good. I'm glad. I know it's a cool tree over here. I never have to water. Where is it? There it is. Because that's pretty much what survives in my house. Thank you so much, Dan. I so appreciate it. Such a huge help. It really is. Thank you. All right, here's our first story. Remember to take that. See, I can see things now on the screen. We covered this last week, but just as a quick intro, MTV's calling surprise gig in the works with Johnny Depp. I'm so sad that this got leaked. I really am, because I think it was something they were going to have a lot of fun with. Johnny Depp has played many roles, but never a Moon Man. So apparently when they do this, the surprise guest shows up in the Moon Man costume. And that's all going to change at the upcoming MTV Video Music Awards with a planned surprise appearance from the movie star. Well, it's obviously not a surprise anymore, is it? VMA production sources tell TMZ Depp has been in talks with show producers to dress up as the network's famous Moon Man, recently dubbed the Moonperson, and show face at some point during the award show broadcast on Sunday, August 28th. On the East Coast, it's 8 p.m. It's on the MTV channel. I don't know if they'll be streaming it anywhere or if there's a YouTube. I'm sure it will come out, though, surely. Depp's won 5 MTV Movie Awards over the years, including Best Male Performance, Best Villain, Global Superstar, and the Generation Award in 2012. Quite a year. The surprise appearance comes in the heels of both the recent announcement of Johnny's return to film, as well as his new deal with Dior. TMZ broke the story. The brand signed Depp to a multi-year 7-figure extension. I'm glad they said extension, because everybody else kept acting like it was the first time he was doing, like they had let him go for some reason. But no, it's definitely an extension. Continue to the face of Sauvage fragrance line. It's unclear if he'll take some hardware home from the show, but based on what we've seen surrounding public opinion, he's sure to get massive applause. What a nice article to read for a change, right? What a nice article. Thank you, Sandra and David. So big help. So appreciated. Very much so. If they didn't leak it, nobody would watch. Yeah, that's what some people are claiming. Some people are saying that MTV leaked it intentionally because their ratings last year, I think, were the lowest ever. Johnny Depp's rumored appearance at this is New York Post. It's been confirmed, and here are the details. So this is the new news. Yeah, people stop watching. People stop watching a lot of award shows, right? All right, New York Post. Johnny Depp will make good on rumors that he's making a special comeback appearance. I'm sure that's not Johnny's word. Appearance on the 2022 MTV Music Video Awards. A source close to the production has confirmed to the Post that the 59-year-old star will dress up as a real-life moon person, the silver astronaut statue that VMA winners are awarded. Jack Sparrow's team declined to comment when the Post reached out, but our insider said the actor is indeed locked in to appear via video. So it will be a video link, which makes sense because he's still in the middle of filming, right? I'm watching comments, and so they declined. And TMZ's first reported the growing buzz about a possible appearance on the weekend, and it is super popular. Depp is really excited to appear at the VMAs, and he's ready for a comeback, the source said. Again, I don't think that's his words. They did not put it. Yeah, they did put it in quotes, but I don't think that's from Johnny. Well, he joined rocker Jeff Beck on his summer European highly publicized tour. This will be Depp's first on-camera appearance since his highly publicized defamation case against his ex-wife. Well, let's be real. The Jeff Beck tour was a huge success. They were sold out. People were waiting outside to see him with pictures. They were cheering him. I mean, he's getting massive support, which you would never think of after seeing, there I am, after seeing the mainstream media reports. I'll try and pay more attention to that, but I so appreciate the super chats very much. Leanne, his brief showing as a moon man or moon person now is going to get a lot more eyeballs from her interview. That's right. Yes, for sure. For sure. I can't tell you the last time I watched them. I don't even know who half of these musicians anymore. And I said, okay, mark on my age, but seriously, I have the radio on all the time and Sirius radio all the time. And I'm not understanding who half of these people are anymore. They're all upset about one group. They don't want Johnny to go near. Well, now he's not going to be there, so they don't have to worry about it. I like the Oscars. I know people hate it, but I still watch it. It's my guilty pleasure. The Oscars usually is a good show. MTV used to be a really good show, very much of an entertainment show more than just the awards. So we'll see how it goes, right? So the trial is over, and a lot came out. I mean, let's face it, Johnny laid himself bare to the public, wide open for all his faults, and held nothing back, put his story out there. And 7 jurors unanimously found that Amber Heard had lied with malice. Rottenborn stood up there at that closing and told those jurors, you only need to find one incident and you find for Amber Heard. 7 jurors unanimously couldn't even find for one credible incident. I am shocked at how the tide has turned on Twitter and the mainstream media coming out and completely flipping the story as if this trial never happened. But there is one good thing that has come out. And this is the stories we're seeing. And I'm not going to read all of them. Fiona Dodwell. All these links will be added at the end of this live stream. I'll put all the links down there and the timestamps. Men Too, unraveling the myths around domestic abuse towards men. Male victims often have been overlooked and remained a hidden victim group, despite some researchers and government statistics evidencing their existence for decades. Is domestic abuse against men more prevalent than many would dare imagine? If so, what can we do to address the correct society's misunderstandings? More men are coming out. This is good. They're reaching for help. I can't say her name. Xanon Unknown. I just found her on Twitter. She's great. She has great tweets, very thought out, very strongly worded. Johnny Depp, male victimization and IPV, and ideological quagmire. Since the conclusion of the Depp v. Heard defamation trial in Fairfax, there has been an ongoing conversation surrounding abuse, intimate partner violence, and male victimization. Many vehemently believe that Depp was a victim of Heard, whereas many others believe Heard was a victim. The polarization, though plagued with frequent vitriol and impassioned opinions, has also reignited the discussion surrounding not only female perpetrators of IPV, but their male victims. A somewhat forbidden narrative research pertaining to male victimizations at the hands of female intimate partners is extremely limited. However, we are starting to understand the ways in which men identify with the victimhood and why. So yes, this is good. It's brought attention finally. And not to say that the majority of domestic violence appears to be women, but men can be victims too. And we have to accept this non-gender. You know, abuse has no gender. It should, Leanne. It should never be a gender issue. Both men and women should be taught to not assault people. Do not hit. Felicity, yes, this is a great article. She is great on Twitter. All of these articles, I've got a couple here to show you. Great article. Yeah. We have another one. This is from, false gender-based violence accusations do more than reputational damage. And this is actually from Africa, I think, Johannesburg. So it's far and wide, and that's why I picked this article to show you it's a global issue. Despite gender-based violence being a global crisis, there are women who commit perjury by making false gender-based violence allegations. In South African law, perjury occurs when a person makes a false statement and tries to change the outcome of legal proceedings. In 2019, the World Bank found that 1 out of 3 women is affected by GBV worldwide, which means at least 35% of women would experience physical or sexual abuse at the hands of their partners or other male perpetrators in their lifetime. However, there have been cases where women have been made false GBV allegations and did not face any consequence. The false GBV accusations are targeted at a particular individual, says Bethans Khumalo, the co-executive director of the Gender Justice. I'm going to butcher all these pronunciations. These allegations may leave the accused with more than reputational damage, but also the loss of income, psychological health, and exclusion from society. He said motives for the false allegations vary with individuals. And again, I'm not going to read all the articles, but it's coming up to the forefront to be talked about again. And I think what's most important is, let me just talk about this for a minute. When we had the O.J. Simpson case in California, the TRO standards were relooked at, and it was made easier for people to, and I say people, of course it was women back then more, to obtain a temporary restraining order, because it's important that we don't, it's a double-edged sword that people can take advantage of it, but people who need help should be able to get help, should not be afraid to get help or protection. They should be able to get in there and get the TRO without having to have so much information, or proof, etc. That comes later. You need to protect them now. But that doesn't mean that they're to be blindly believed. A temporary restraining order is not a conviction. It has to be investigated. You go to court, and that's where Amber Heard dropped hers. Her case was extended several times, and that's the court case they kept talking about, not the divorce, but to get the final restraining order. That's what Johnny talked about. He says, don't do this. Don't make me have to bring my evidence to prove you're wrong. Don't make me embarrass you. That's what he was talking about if we go through with this. And of course, she dropped it at the last minute and took the settlement. But it is a double-edged sword. We have to make sure these people can get protection. My deceased husband was physically abused by his ex. It's terrible. Seems fairly equal percent-wise in terms of the victim being male or female. I would never have thought that before looking. Felicity, I think you're right, because first of all, so much male goes unreported. We've heard so many reports of men. I made the call. I did the 911 call. When the police came, they said, well, what did you do to make her hit you? And I'm not trying to lessen that there are absolutely statistically more female, but there are a lot more male victims than we ever knew that are ever reported. It's rough. I don't know anyone who believed her. No, the police came out. I mean, I was surprised. I think Amber Heard is the women's worst nightmare, because when she made the claims, you want to believe a woman. You want to believe anyone who makes those claims. So it would be our worst nightmare that she lied. And that's what happened. And so many people invested behind her and supported her that just couldn't accept that she lied, that there has to have been another reason. She originally tried to get a DVO order. The judge said she did not have enough evidence, so she had to get a TRO. I don't think that's the way it works in California. She got an ex parte and an emergency temporary restraining order. You have to go to court. You have to prove your case. I don't think you can get that right away like ever, unless I'm wrong, but that's my understanding. But to continue with this, I want to talk about Ann Silver. She is great on Twitter. She's been she's been going on to some of the various YouTubes. I've spoken with her, but she's written a book, Abusive Men by Women, and she has been talking about this for a very long time. And she reached out to me, and we had a great conversation about the changes that Johnny made, and she wanted me to know that. Because she's worked with so many male victims. She says, Laura, I had a guy who's ready to end his life. He had I guess she had spoken with him in the past. He had pulled over to the side of the road because I guess he had been abused again, and he called her, and she was able to talk him down. But he was ready. He was on the highway. He pulled over. He was ready to end himself. And she had a long talk with him and talked him down, and I guess they're working through it. And she said that she's getting so many more phone calls now since Johnny's trial, and I think that's so important. So I encourage you to follow her on Twitter. I'm going to try and have her on the channel to talk with us. But I want to know this. There's a lot of good that's come out of this trial. A lot. Whoops. Where'd you go, Ardo? I have seen TV both ways. My neighbor smashed her boyfriend's head with a hammer, and wow, the snow was covered in red. No reports. Oof. Oof. That's because society tells them they cannot be abused and their feelings are dramatic. Toxic masculinity is a thing, but the flip side of that is often ridiculed. Yeah. Yeah. And I think Johnny said growing up, he saw his father verbally, especially verbally abused and thrown things, and he just took it like a man and walked away. David, my first wife woke me with a knife many years ago. I did not think I was a victim until Depp v. Heard. Wow. Whew. I have to catch my breath on that. In Florida, please apply for emergency protective order. Interesting. I know I've been told many times that she did not have to go to the courthouse. Her lawyers could have done it for her. Felicity, interesting quote to remember. When people hear the audios read court docs, but still think age doesn't abuse him, is you can have your own opinions, but you can't have your own facts. Ooh, good one, Felicity. Good one. Did I miss anybody? We got up to that. Okay, so give Anne a follow. I'm shocked at this. This is a perfect example how people are blind. They're so connected to these movements, financially especially. They need the money. They need to believe all women because that's how they're getting their income. That's how they're getting their financial support, their donations. And this is as if the trial never happened. How could they lump Johnny in here after a jury just found unanimously in his favor? And I should probably share this. There we are. The Women's March. Let's talk. Andrew Tate, Johnny Depp, Marilyn Manson, and the pervasive culture of misogyny and sexism that puts women in danger every single day. Well, Marilyn Manson hasn't had his day in court yet, so that's unfair. Andrew Tate, I'm not even going to get into that. But Johnny's had court. They just had it. You can't make it disappear. It's the jury found unanimously for him with malice. So let's skipping down. Sexism and misogyny are the reasons so much of the internet believes Johnny Depp, not his victim, Amber Heard, despite all the evidence of his abuse. Ron Board told the jury, you just need one incident that you believe, and you find for Amber Heard. They could not even find for one. She was just not a credible witness. There wasn't evidence. They're the reasons Depp and his buddy Manson fans turned to harass Evan Rachel Wood as soon as Depp trial ended, even though Wood's abuse at Manson's hand is well documented too. I haven't been following that case. I know a lot of other people have. And it's a lot of people have questions. A lot of people have questions. When society sees abused women as conniving bitches rather than victims and survivors, that's rape culture and misogyny at work. If women with privilege and resources of Amber Heard and Evan Rachel Wood can't be believed, there's not much hope for the rest of us. Well, that's funny because that's the exact statement we were hearing about Johnny, that he was a man of power and riches and nobody would believe him. Doesn't play well. Women deal with harassment online and in person. We hear from a young age that if we wear short skirts or crop tops that we're asking for it. Every woman you know has a story of harassment or assault. Women's lives are on the line every single day. Believe women and the violence. And there's our problem. Because there are men that are getting abused. Yeah. Whoops. It jumped. I don't understand how they lumped JD in with Andrew Tate. Like, how? I don't know. I don't get it at all. Johnny's been absolute gentleman helping Penelope during the filming when she was pregnant. I mean, you always see him with such great manners at the courtroom, always holding the door open for other people. And he was so good with Judy, the stenographer. Whew. It's so sad. A lot of people don't believe that men can be victims of DV. Yeah. Some of my friends said, no way, Amber was able to do that to Johnny. They started believing when I showed them some of the evidence. Yeah. And Brian, incredibly Brian here on YouTube broke the ground for that, really getting all his videos out. As a woman, I'm insulted by Women's March and all these crazy so-called feminists. This is not feminism. I agree. 100% I agree. I've been here a lot longer than a lot of them, and I've seen so many great changes, and we still need more improvement as far as equal pay and whatnot. But this vitriolic hate against men, all men, not just Johnny, is coming out of the woodworks on Twitter. It's insane. The immediate narrative, I think NBC was it that did a little mini documentary thing after the trial, and it was apparent they never even watched it. They were talking about things, and at the end the commentator was like, oh, he won? Like it was a shock to her. There was no way they were watching it. Whew. Yeah, it says I have new comments. Yeah, it's rough. I'm just checking. Brian is on later today. Yeah, they'll have more of the deposition with Jax. I am disgusted by the Women's March. They are calling everyone who believed the facts, including the jury, misogynistic. Wow, they're doubling down on supporting Age, and that is sad, as we saw the evidence, and it supported Johnny. No, Age said she was the abuser and is conniving. Yeah. Yeah. Whew. Thank you, Tommy, so much. I appreciate it. Johnny was very brave to do this. Women's March are just riding on the attention for money. It's pathetic. They don't care about truth. Thank you all for what you have done. Yes, thank you. There's a couple, I think it's not Truth Seeker. I can't think of their account off the top. They've been deep diving this on a very long time. And a lot of these movements are making a lot of money, and they depend on everyone to believe only women. So they can keep going. They're in very, very deep, and they're just not going to let the tides turn. They're going to hold tight. And now they're just pushing the UK trial like Virginia never happened. Right. I read a headline on this off subject. What about 2 women coming after George Foreman in his 60s? I haven't read it. I know they're trying to make some sexual claims from, was it 30, 40 years ago? I mean, I think it's from a really long time ago. Scary being a man nowadays. Yeah, I'm a female. I think it's really hard for a while there for me too. It was, nobody wanted to hire new employees. They were scared. Johnny said, I think in the UK that even if he won or was king of the world, he would live with it forever. Yeah, he said it in this trial. There's some good testimony in that, in his deposition. He says, look, I know she's a fraud, and I don't want people to keep putting her on the pedestal and having her be their savior because she lied. I didn't do this. And if this trial turns out that people don't believe me, well, I believe it's not going to change what I believe because I know I didn't do this. That's what he said in his deposition. She had attacked previous relationships before. I think she has a BPT. Are we still talking about age or a different girl? Was a very severe case and maybe also ASPD. Absolutely no sympathy. She had children too. Okay, so this is somebody else. I got lost in that conversation. Sorry, guys. Let's go on to happier news, okay? Johnny's going back on tour with the Hollywood Vampires, and I'm packing my bags. Love this title. Johnny Depp is out of court and is living the rock star life that he is again. I'm sure you're all up to date with Johnny Depp and Amber Heard defamation trial, and outcome was in his favor. Now it's time to move on with life, and what's better than going on tour with some of your best pals in the band? And I love that Tommy is included in this photo. The Hollywood Vampires are hitting the road and going back on tour soon, and now is your chance to plan your trip to see them live. Anyone who had tickets before, I don't remember how they handled that. I don't know if, I'm not sure if I put this comment up. Yeah. I'm not sure if they reimbursed tickets because I remember it got delayed a year and 2 years for COVID, or if you just held your tickets, or I don't know how that all worked. If you still have tickets, you'll have to check this out yourself. But the band is made up of Alice Cooper, Joe Perry, Tom Henriksen, Tommy Henriksen, and of course Johnny Depp. And the tour will start in the summer of 2023. So it's a year away. Alice Cooper announced the exciting news on Instagram, along with information stating the tour will kick off in Germany and Luxembourg. The Hollywood vampires are back. Here are a few of the, again, they're 2023 dates. These are the ones that confirmed, and I think they've confirmed some more. Tickets will be available starting June 27th. So tickets are already up for sale, guys. You can purchase your tickets here. I'll have the link below, but I'm sure you can go to any of these local venues and get what you need to get. I saw where'd it go? I saw the Vampires back in 2016. Great show. And that's good because that was a rough show for him. He was scared to death to go on stage back then. Thankful for the black belt barrister for breaking down the UK trial and showing us how shady it actually was. Yeah. Jackson and I did a huge podcast leading the road to Fairfax. Mincing my words today. And we did a lot of the testimony and stuff. He did the judgment. We did a lot of the testimony that came out. Instagram. Oh no, this is the HollywoodVampires.com. So I checked on news. This can get confusing. August 2022. That's the date that they've added these new tour dates. The tour dates are all 2023. And of course, if you go to their Instagram, that's where their most up-to-date information is. They've just added Istanbul. It was wild. I just want them to come to my side. They never come to the East Coast. They came so close to me once. Well, Alice Cooper Band did, but not the Hollywood Vampires. Here's some more dates. Again, I think these are the original German dates, but they added one more. So for the most up-to-date, follow their Instagram. Follow their Instagram. What else? Let me catch up. Come to Canada, Johnny. I know. He came the 1 year. And it wasn't very far. It was above New York City, New York State, in that area of Canada, as I recall. I can't remember exactly the location. I'm so glad he's in Europe. I think he should stay there for a good while because it will be better for him than all the crazy in the U.S. Yeah, true. I can tell you personally, because I lived as an expat, there's major tax ramifications of being out of your country for so many days, or in another country for so many days. That's why I know he's always said his French estate, he's limited to, I think it was 179 days, 180 days, puts him in that tax zone where he has to pay French income tax, not just property tax. So I know you're limited. You have to keep really good track of what countries you're in and for how long. Excuse my squeaky chair, trying to sit still. So we did that. Plus, he doesn't want to denounce his American citizenship. I mean, he's said that in interviews. I mean, maybe that's different now, but that's what he's always said. And his son is an American, born here. Now, Lily Rose is what I call French American. I think she was born in France, raised, in both. She has friends in both countries. I think California is his son's main homestead. So he wants to maintain that. Yeah. So, yeah, it's back and forth. As far as I know, he has properties California and the island and in France. His estate. Do you know what became of the insurance against Amber? Yes, I just did a video on that I plan to drop Monday. The traveler's insurance just filed to combine the two. So that's going to be interesting. But that video will go out Monday at midnight. Thank you for asking. Yeah, deep dives. I was getting bothered because we weren't getting any new news. Hold on, I'm just checking to make sure I'm getting up to date here. Road to Fairfax was fabulous. I'm sad I only found it after the trial, but it was still relevant and very informative. It only cemented my opinion. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, it was a hard podcast to do. A lot of research, a lot of reliving. It was hard to go through it all. And to know that Jackson and I were going to the trial, I'm going to be sitting through it all. Believe all portrays all women as frail little beings, and we claim to want to be more. We want to be equal. Yeah. I'm definitely going back to listen to The Road to Fairfax. So it was a podcast. Jax has now brought it over to YouTube, but the old versions are still on podcast. The actual part of The Road to Fairfax. I have not heard that. He has a house there too, not according to the divorce settlement. We saw all the properties were listed out, and they did not show that he owned any property in the UK. I think it's long been rumored that he was looking to buy property there. I think it was long rumored too in Venice, and I think that was just debunked. VMA has gone downhill. Well, have you watched MTV? I mean, the only show I see on there is Ridiculousness, I think it's called. That's all they had nonstop. Being in the UK, I find it embarrassing that the judge was even given that position. The case wasn't big news over here, maybe due to toilet paper panic, buying Peeps, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah, it's only in audio form. Spotify, Apple Podcast, any of those. Yeah, I think his father is in Florida, last I heard. Sunshine, thank you. I wasn't sure if Jack was born in France. I honestly wasn't. I knew Lily Rose was. I can tell you when my daughter was born in Luxembourg, she automatically took the citizenship of the father. Now, I know that's changed. I know things are more equal now. Back in the day, she automatically took on his citizenship. And I was wife of no profession on the birth certificate, literally. They listed out his profession and his job and where he was working at the time, and wife of no profession. I did not even get a name in the paragraph. I got a name in the space, but not in the paragraph. Oh. Thank you for keeping this miss alive. I'm tired of hearing her name, but so happy the walls are tumbling down. Yeah. I don't want to keep her name alive. Johnny's moved on. I want to move on too. Let's talk a little bit about more music for a second. Jeff Beck has announced his U.S. tour. It is confirmed that Johnny will be on tour with Jeff starting on or around October 4th. Because he's still filming in France. If the filming runs late, he may miss the first couple shows, sadly. But let me just jump to this one real quick. When Jeff Beck first announced his tour, it is the Jeff Beck tour. Johnny was never announced because he is a guest. So it's never guaranteed or confirmed that he'll be at each concert, but he was, in fact, there. So, keep that in mind. And Gina has confirmed it, that this Jeff Beck is the tour owner. He's the headliner and Johnny's the guest. So any announcements or confirmations come from Jeff. So he's not listed here. Johnny's not listed here. There's no reason to believe that he won't be at these dates except the first few. There could be others that conflict if he's got some other work coming up. Yeah. I'm crushed. The Dallas and Austin concerts are in September, and that would not be with Johnny. That was with, is it Iggy? I forget who was headlining with him earlier. So he's on tour. He's got other guests that he has with him. So we did that one. So yeah, we got Jeff Beck. That's exciting. Road to Fairfax was incredible work. I listened to each podcast as it released. I really was outstanding. Thank you so much. It was hard to do, but it was something you could listen on the road. You can listen as you're doing your housework. You listen bits and pieces. And we tried to provide, one thing I try to do is provide the links, provide the source information. Thank you, Light Giver. Jack was born in France. Got it. Seeing Jeff Beck in our area of California near LA. Johnny? Yeah. Again, there's no guarantee Johnny will be attending. But Jeff is promoting the new album, 18. It's going to be kind of hard to do it without Johnny there. But there would be, we know there's earlier conflicts. We know he may still be filming in the beginning. No, that's a good friend of Johnny's. I happened to meet him because I was sitting behind him quite a bit. Just good friend. Yeah, I love Jax too. We had fun. Her laugh. Here we go. Her laugh. Yeah. Because I was the one having to be serious and deliver the information, and she would commentate and respond. And it was huge help. I never knew JD, but fell in love with the man and him during the trial. We got to see the human side of him, and he showed us all, the man, the human too. And they have hearts, and I can just have hearts and can just love the same. Yeah. I can tell you, I'm seeing these pictures, and I won't go back to the TMZ article, pictures of Johnny with his hair back and his eyes look big. I swear they've done something to you. I can tell you, I saw that man every day in court that I was there, 5 of the 6 weeks. He's a very handsome man, very charismatic, very kind. When he came in and he would nod to the people that were there in the gallery. The security was fine with that. The bailiff was fine. We weren't supposed to do anything, but Johnny could wave. And of course, the defendant could have also, but there didn't seem to be anybody there for her. Nobody said this is only for certain supporters. The doors were open to anybody who was willing to take the time to get there. But, he waved and nodded, and, his hands and his heart. And yeah, very handsome man. Those pictures do not do justice for him at all. Yes, he will be directing a movie. I don't think it's till next spring is when he'll start doing that. So yeah, we'll have to see. Let's see when this ends. This is only through November, so that won't affect that movie. Of course, he could be adding more dates, but this is through November. He has a brother and another sister. Not sure where they live. He has 2 sisters. His brother, Daniel, I think he said he's 10 years older. He actually helped write The Brave. Daniel introduced him to more music, the rock music, to get off the pop music. I remember those interviews. His sister and another half sister. So Daniel and I can't remember her name. I just went blank on her. Debbie is a half sister. And Christy, who testified, is with his mom and dad. She is his president for this local infinitum Nihil production house here in America. And Stephen Joyters is the president in the European model. Yeah. So appreciate you, Secret McSquirrel. He's letting everybody know, remind you to hit like, subscribe, all the good stuff. And yes, under my About tab, I have my PayPal. I don't ask for tips as much. It really is helpful. I very much appreciate it. A lot of the documents I presented over the years on Twitter, I paid for out of my pocket. And that includes especially the Rocky Brooks ones that I brought. So here's another good music intro. Yeah, ZZ Top. Thank you, sis. Yes, that's who he's going to be playing with before Johnny. So I haven't done any TikToks yet. I was going to do them and I didn't. But anyway, back to this. Aerosmith is back on tour. I'm excited for this. They do a great show, and I love Joe Perry. I love the friendship that I see a strong friendship between Johnny and Tommy Henriksen. I'm sure there's a strong friendship with Alice. I don't see it as much on a lot of the behind-the-scenes films, but I see a very close relationship with Joe Perry and Johnny. I reported before that Joe Perry wrote an autobiography book. And he stayed in one of Johnny's homes. Johnny invited him there, and he stayed there, and he wrote the book. And I think Johnny wrote the foreword. And Joe's also recorded some music there. Sweetser, it's called Sweetser. So I just love Joe. I think they're cool. So Aerosmith is back on September 4th. Joe Perry Project did some touring while Steve Tyler was on the mend. He's had some major foot surgery. If you've ever Googled Steve Tyler's feet, it'll scare you. He's got some issues with his feet. He had some surgery, and sadly, as was announced, it became the painkillers kicked off his addiction again, and then he went into rehab. So they canceled the first half of their Vegas tour, but they are back and excited. They'll be live at Park MGM, their Vegas residency, and they go through December 11th. So if you're ever out there, Fenway Park in Boston too, because they are from Boston. So enjoy. Aerosmith's Instagram, we're back. I love this. We're back. Focus on these suggestions on these songs. And here they go. Exciting. I love it. After all that's happened, so many of these musicians, my brother is a sound engineer. And let me tell you, he's made no income when COVID came in. He was doing nothing. Everything went to Zoom as far as any corporate meetings that he used to do, but he used to do small venues in New York City. Yeah, it's been really rough on these musicians, not just the musicians, but the crew and everybody else. That's why Johnny wasn't there for the verdict, because he had already committed to the concerts. And rather than cancel, all those people would have been out of work that day. It's a domino effect. So I think it's so great that these musicians are getting back to work. Okay, questions. The appeal filing due next month, and do you think we will see it? The appeal filing has been reported to be due December 4th. I think it's so many days after the Fairfax court actually turns over all of the transcripts. They have to turn over all the transcripts of not just a trial, but of every hearing, all the motions, all the rulings. They have to turn over everything. It's going to be literally like a library of the entire trial. So when Amber Heard files her brief and points to whatever it is that they're complaining about, the judges are going to be able to go right and look at whatever part of the rulings, the transcripts, or anything that this was discussed. So there's a lot of work going on right now. Once that's turned over, I mean, Fairfax could ask for an extension, but right now it's being reported September 4th. The briefs may be due. Will they be available to us? We may have to try and buy them, which is, we're just talking one brief. We're not talking 6,000 pages. I listened while working, cleaning the house, gardening, great company. I sometimes re-listen some episodes when I don't have anything else. Oh, thank you. A lot of my YouTube is done similar to how we did the podcast. I took from my podcast, I looked at people like Legal Bites and Emily D. Baker, because the documents are important. I'm not going to paraphrase legal documents. I'm going to say it the way they say it. So a lot of my YouTube can be listened to while you're doing things in the house. You don't have to be staring at the screen. And I provide the links to the documents too. Quite telling, H was the only one not to clap for in court. Note-taking woman. I know. I thought that was terrible because her entire team clapped for her. So there was no reason. I mean, yeah, no reason. Yes, half brother. He and Debbie. He's a writer. I don't know if I think he's also a professor, but yes, he is a writer, and he had a lot to do with the rave. Thank you, Freddie. It's not much, but I hope it helps. Everything helps a lot. Really, really helps a lot. I so appreciate it. I can't get to this. Oh, I hate the way they do this here. I'm going to see if I can find these super chats. I've got 2 super chats that are hanging on the top, and when I click on them, I can't get to them. Thank you so much, Jasmine. I really appreciate it. Every little bit helps. It surely does. And NDH818. I was trying to think if the 8s could be letters somehow. Thank you for keeping us informed. Happy to do it. We're going to talk about my motivations pretty soon. What is Toad to Fairfax? Well, it's the road. It's not a toad. It's a road to Fairfax. It's from Movies, Myths, and Monsters, original podcast that Jax created. And then we did a special series called The Road to Fairfax. So you can search it on Spotify or your whatever podcasting, Apple Podcast or whatever podcasting you watch. Yeah, that's a good one. I got this one. Mystified. Thank you for everything. You bring the truth to light. We appreciate you. Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys so very much. Here it is. Movies, Myths, and Monsters. Now they're on YouTube, but this is Jax's new series that she's doing with Brian. So this won't be The Road to Fairfax, but that is her new YouTube. And she just is trying to sort herself out too, trying to figure out what she wants to do. So there's been a lot going on in Twitter. It's kind of shocking. And when this article dropped, I really thought it was worth sharing with us. Twitter ex-security head files whistleblower complaint on spam and privacy issues. Former executive Peter Zatko makes sweeping claims about the social networking platform. Now, you know, Elon Musk was supposed to buy Twitter, and then he backed out because he said, hey, you're not telling the truth about the fake accounts and the bots. You're not telling us the truth. And I'm not comfortable. I don't want to buy this if it's not real. A whistleblower, and then this report drops. A whistleblower complaint by Twitter incorporates former head of security. Allegedly widespread mismanagement spurred new scrutiny of the social media company, adding to its challenges as it prepares for its legal battle with Elon Musk. The complaint, which was submitted to the Securities and Exchange Commission last month, often referred to as the SEC here in America, Securities and Exchange Commission last month, and became public Tuesday, was made by Peter Zatko, who was fired earlier this year. Mr. Zatko's submission says that he uncovered extreme, egregious deficiencies by Twitter in every area of his mandate, including privacy, digital and physical security, platform integrity, and content moderation. Among Mr. Zatko's claims are that Twitter executives, including Chief Executive Parag Agrawal, deliberately undercounted the prevalence of spam on the platform. Those claims could further complicate Twitter's battle with Mr. Musk, whom the company sued in July to enforce his $44 billion takeover deal. Mr. Musk has alleged Twitter misrepresented its business, particularly as it relates to the level of spam or bot accounts, which Twitter denies. The SEC declined to comment. The whistleblower complaint was also submitted to the Federal Trade Commission and the Justice Department. The Justice Department declined to comment. The FTC, Federal Trade Commission, didn't respond to a request for comment. The 5-day non-jury trial over the stall deal is scheduled to start on October 17th in Delaware. The existence of the whistleblower complaint was reported earlier on Tuesday by the Washington Post. A Twitter spokesman for Mr. Zatko was fired for ineffective leadership and poor performance, and that complaint is riddled with inconsistencies, inaccuracy, and lacks important context. Twitter spokesman said. The lawyer for Musk said, we have already issued a subpoena for Mr. Zatko, and we found his exit and that of other key employees curious in light of what we've been finding. Twitter shares fell. Mr. Zatko, a former hacker, is also known as Mudge, has been a noted computer security researcher for decades. He has a member of the Boston Cybersecurity Collective that came to prominence in 1998 when it offered warnings about the state of national cybersecurity in testimony to the U.S. Senate. During one Senate hearing, the group told lawmakers they would take down the internet in 30 minutes. He was hired by Twitter in 2020 after stints at the payments company Stripe, Alphabet Incorporated's Google unit, and the U.S. Defense Advanced Records Projects Agency, known as DARPA, according to his LinkedIn profile. So he's been a busy guy. The whistleblower complaint adds a new dimension to the lawsuit over Musk's intention to walk away from the deal, according to Charles Elson, founding director of John L. Weinberg Center for Corporate Governance at the University of Delaware. He is arguing that he was misled by Twitter, and the complaint suggests the same thing, Mr. Elson said. Mr. Zatko will be brought in as part of the discovery process, Mr. Elson said, and the judge will be tasked with deciding whether the allegations would have a material impact on Mr. Musk's case. There are many millions of active accounts that are not considered MDTAU, either because they are spam bots, because Twitter does not believe it can monetize them. Mr. Zatko said in the complaint, these millions of non-MDAU accounts are part of the median users' experience on the platform. That's us, the median users. Twitter also said it has a system for measuring users and spam that entails multiple human reviews of thousands of accounts sampled at random over time. Well, I can tell you all the reports I've been making over the death threats toward Johnny over the MTV article, every single one of mine have been, oops, sorry guys, every single one of mine have been denied. Every single one. I put in a complaint, and as soon as even for my doxing that I received, thanks Secret Squirrel, I get into these articles. I was doxed like crazy on Twitter, and I reported them for giving out private information, and every single time Twitter denied me. Every single time. Twitter says its system for measuring spam entails multiple, we read that, human reviews. Mr. Zatko said the complaint that he attempted to formally notify Twitter's board of his concern, but was steered off by Mr. Agrawal. Let's see if we can get into some of the meat of this. This is important. Mr. Zatko in the complaint also expressed concerns about Twitter's tied to foreign governments and says the company may have foreign spies in its payroll. Mr. Zatko believed that the Indian government had forced the company to knowingly hire at least one employee who had access to vast amounts of Twitter's sensitive data. The complaint shows India's Washington embassy didn't respond for requests. So they're saying that Twitter is being used to manipulate political outcomes. And we just saw this with Zuckerberg on Facebook, that he was forced to suppress information about Hunter Biden's computer, laptop. Yes, this goes to Bot Sentinel, I think, too, what he's doing. In a memo to employees Tuesday, Mr. Agua said, I know this is frustrating and confusing to read, given Mudge was accountable for many aspects of this work, and he is now inaccurately portraying more than 6 months of his termination, after his termination. So let me see if there's anything more here. Democrats and Republicans have raised concerns about Twitter and other social media companies over the past years. These claims are accurate. They may show dangerous data privacy and security risks for Twitter users around the world. So jumping ahead, what are spam bots and why are they an issue in his deal? While sometimes called bots or spam or fake accounts, all refer to inauthentic accounts that imitate how people use Twitter. Some spam accounts are automated, but others are operated by people, making it complicated to detect them. Bots can tweet at people, share tweets, follow, and be followed by others, among other things. Why are spam bots an issue? Mr. Musk has been voicing concern over spam bots on Twitter for years. In 2020, he appeared at an event for Twitter employees and encouraged the company to do more to prevent and remove spam bots. Since announcing his intention to buy Twitter in April, Mr. Musk has repeatedly tweeted about spam bots on his platform. In May, again, Mr. Agrawal, Twitter's chief executive, tweeted about how the company detects and fights spam bots. Mr. Musk responded with a poop emoji. Oh, what I'm thinking. In a 6-paragraph letter on June 6, Mr. Musk's lawyers demanded more information from Twitter, stating that the company was refusing Mr. Musk's data request to disclose the number of fake accounts on its platform. That amounted to a clear material breach of the deal, the lawyers continued, saying it gave Mr. Musk the rights to break off the agreement. How is spam bot? And again, I'm going to link all this below, so I don't feel like I have to read it all. Twitter defines good spam bots as automated accounts that help people find useful, entertainment, relevant information. For example, Mr. Stockbot gives people automated responses when they ask for a stock quote, and EarthquakeBot tweets about earthquakes that have a certain magnitude. But other spam bots are used by governments, corporations, or bad actors for a number of nefarious purposes. During the 2016 presidential elections, Russia used spam bots accounts to impersonate Americans and try to sow divisions among U.S. voters. So they're tweeting out and they're commenting. They're not just liking. Spam bots that engage in scams are frequently found on Twitter, trying to persuade people to send cryptocurrency or digital currency to online wallets for prizes that don't exist. Sometimes spam bots are also used to attack celebrities or politicians and to create a hostile environment for them online. So let me just show you this one. Here's an account that's came up June. So it came up at the end of the trial. Could be as late as June 30th. Has 1,800 followers. And this, on August 5th, has over 78,000 likes, 17,000 retweets, and only 539 comments. This doesn't make sense. In no math does this make sense. For what, a picture of Johnny, an old picture of Johnny? Let's think about it. This doesn't generate, this isn't current news. So this doesn't make sense to me at all. Let me take some questions, and I have something else to show you that just came up on Instagram. Seems to me Musk needs to get turds straightened out then to get rid of these bots. And Boozy. Yeah, so something's going on with Bot Sentinel. Let's talk about that real quick. So apparently he has written a software where he can get at your data on Twitter. And then he's running all these reports against certain hashtags, but he's definitely skewing biased. All haters against Amber is anybody who's pro-Johnny. Anybody who put justice for Johnny Depp, you're automatically a hate account. He's created this report that you can go there and look at the ever-growing number, and he's run a software somehow that you can run it and it will automatically block all of those accounts. It's basically a hit list. It's basically, let's go gang up on these. Let's go dog pile, report them and block them. So that's what's going on there. Apparently Twitter came down on him and said that he can keep the data he has on suspended or deleted accounts. He didn't say anything else. So I don't know what's going on there. He got a warning and he was flabbergasted. Yeah. He is categorizing people good or bad without consent. And he is not ethical or legal. And people have done reports where they can go to a certain date. I think it was July 21st. And suddenly their account became bad. From that date forward, June 21st, 22nd, 23rd. I mean, July. And these other defendant pro accounts suddenly became not a problem, became good accounts. It's really strange the way it's specifically that date that everything changed. Timing for Musk to want to buy Twitter is too suspect for me. I don't know what to think of this. He might have some political aspirations and he wants to control and use these things. Maybe not that he wants to be president, but maybe he wants somebody in there. I mean, I think this goes way beyond the defendant. I saw that one already. Boozy has been told by Twitter to rein it in or to remove him. Yeah. Twitter is awful. Even IG has a good feature where you can block someone and every other new account they make is automatically blocked. Yeah, as long as it's somehow associated with the same email or phone number, they make a new one, you're out. I'm glad I'm not on Twitter. It sounds like a vile place. It has become horrible. Really bad. I've never seen anything like this. Ann Silvers has asked me to go on her podcast to talk about my brother's death. Ann is great. She's really, really sympathetic. She's really nice. She's very learned and experienced. I would trust her. Twitter is not really big in Europe. I joined years ago, then closed it, reactivated for the trial, and 2 weeks ago closed it again because it's terrible. Yeah. You have to remember, it's a very small drop in the bucket. So this just, I don't know if anybody here watches Real Housewives. So something's come up on the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, and there's a lot of infighting. And this guy back in May apparently dropped some fake news saying, Lisa Rinna, I know what you did, basically suggesting that she had cheated. And if you want more information, call this number, and all hell broke loose. And he admitted that he was paid by someone to cause her distress. So now recently, a person of color on Beverly Hills, Real House of Beverly Hills, her 14-year-old son is being attacked by negative context, racist comments. It's terrible. And nobody understood where they're trying to investigate it. And now this guy is coming forward saying, hey, it's me. And I was hired to do this, but not the racist things. So let's take a look at this guy. This is his, I guess, an email. But when I try to go to this business, nothing comes up. His link tree is just social media. But this is what he is posted. Garcelle did not hire my firm to boost engagement. Yes, we are responsible for sending negative bots, but none to my knowledge were ordered to be racist. That's why I'm looking into our partnership with an overseas center. Negative and racist are two different things. This is some kind of marketing person or company that you hire, and they get you followers, they get you likes, but they also send comments. This is the software we use. It's the same software used by Kim Kardashian, Kylie Jenner, and Lisa Rinna, et cetera, et cetera. So they're saying that these celebrities, according to him, are buying likes, followers, engagements. Oh. So this is what's the reason the man comes forward as the person responsible for negative and racist bots that commented under Garcelle Bouvier's son's page, claims he was hired to boost engagements. I'll take responsibility for the negative comments, but our services go off specific keywords by team inputs. I would never run my company or instruct others to ploy racist remarks. I have personally never dealt with racism, but I truly send my condolences. So here he goes on to further say, the order was placed through Lisa Rinner's publicist, Jill. Lisa previously had an account with us, but closed it 2 months ago. We provided Lisa with followers, comments, likes, and views. If you look at her Instagram, our services created an algorithm. That's why on some posts, she would receive 4,000 likes with a following of 3 million. She didn't pay for actual AI engagement. I can't confirm. That's why he's saying that, like that other account, she has all these followers because she paid for the followers, but she didn't pay for the engagement part, the artificial intelligent engagement. I can confirm if Diana, she's another celebrity on the show, had her order placed through Jill, because I don't know. And no legal action can be taken for disclosing this information. I have 2 attorneys that advise me, and technically we have only been compensated for half, which voids our fully executed disclosures. Why she's not paid the other half, no clue. Here's an example that she has millions of followers and only 5,000 plus likes. And that's about it for him. That literally just dropped in my lap, and I was like, wow. So like, here's somebody who's claiming he actually does this kind of stuff. Let me catch up here. I like New York and Beverly Hills Housewives, but didn't know about this stuff. Yeah, no, this is just breaking. Just like after the last episode, her 14-year-old son going back to school, and his Instagram got inundated with all these hateful comments. And now this guy's admitting he was hired to do this. Yeah, he was. He's doing well. He's out doing well. And tour is back on. Yeah. I have enough handling my own life without worrying about elite and their nasty behavior. But I only brought this up because it's like what we're seeing on Twitter. I'm getting these passive aggressive comments, like they feel like bots. Like, Laura, you know better than this. Laura, this isn't the person I thought you were. And I was like, I've never heard of this account. I mean, they have hardly any likes. They've never commented to me before, and this seems so automated. I'm just checking guys here. Yeah, we're being careful with the likes. I know I'm pretty new with this. Thank God I have Secret with Scroll. We're going to be careful with the links because they can cause a lot of problems. If you want a link that I can approve of, I can put it in the description. I think, are you looking for a link for an appeal for Johnny in the UK? That's what, Black Belt Barrister. So I'll see if I can remember to put the link down there. Here it is. Because we've approved. I put it there before, so they know it's approved. I heard yesterday the UK denied any appeal for JD. Well, that happened a long time ago. I think it was April of 2021. So you may have just heard about it yesterday, but it happened a long time ago. And it doesn't appear that Johnny is going to refile. So Black Belt Barrister was trying to do this for him. David G., thank you for the $10. I so appreciate it. I haven't got to your comment yet. I wish you could see what I'm seeing here because I can't seem to share it. Oh, there you are. I haven't gotten to it yet. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Yeah, his appeal in April of 21 was turned down. But now Black Belt Barrister himself is trying to get enough money, get enough interest that the UK court themselves will do this. I have one last story. And before I get to that, no, we still haven't. We're about 10 short of 20,000. Aquaman 2 director addresses movie delay amid DC shakeups. So we now know that Aquaman is not coming out for another year. James Wan opens up about Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. Latest delay. In 2018, horror maestro Wan helmed the first Aquaman movie for the DCEU. We know that. That's when her op-ed came out because she was pushing it toward the premieres. giving the franchise a break from the austere palette, slow-mo action, and gritty cinematography. This was a colorful movie. The movie's vibrance, lightheartedness, and fast-paced fun quickly clicked with audiences, leading it to become the franchise's first blockbuster to surpass $1 billion at the box office. Aquaman star Jason Momoa as Arthur Curry, etc. That's all she's getting. Originally, Aquaman 2 was scheduled to premiere in late 2022, but due to COVID-19 pandemic, the film was delayed until March of 2023. But Warner Brothers, which produced the movie, recently merged with Discovery to form a conglomerate, Warner Brothers Discovery, and the new management has taken serious steps as they seek to restructure the DCEU's theatrical strategy. The first controversial decision came when the studio scrapped the nearly complete Batgirl movie. And this week, WBD instituted some additional changes, delaying Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom and Shazam's Fury of the Gods, and December and March of 2023, respectively. So Shazam is coming first in March. Aquaman has now been moved to December of 2023, more than a year away. The need for post-production time has been cited as the reason behind the move, although fans believe there are several other aspects that may have influenced the decision, I think. Now, while replaying to a comment on his Instagram post where he confirmed Aquaman's to postpone it, Wan reveals how he felt about the movie being delayed. As the director notes, he understands the fans are vexed about having to wait so much longer, but for his part, he's doing whatever he can to make the sequel as perfect as possible, so the fans will be in for a treat. So he posted, there's several pictures here. None of them include Mirror. None of them. This is Creepy Puppet. This is Juan's Instagram account. And I remember way back, Christmas time, it was ornaments on a tree. And he had Aquaman action figures. And then he had the Little Mermaid, the Disney Little Mermaid on his tree. We're sad and quite frankly exhausted. Seems like suspicious delays, especially with everything that has been going on with the studio. But is it truly to favor quality over rapidity? Then I'm all for it. Can't wait. Yeah, legit to be apprehensive with all that's happened. But I'm just going to keep plowing ahead and do my absolute best to filter out all the noise and make the best movie he can. Let's face it, we saw the trial. I mean, Warner Brothers executive went up there and said, yeah, there was no chemistry. We had a terrible time trying to fit this movie together, cut and paste it. And if anybody knows that besides the editor, it would be the director who was on site every day, realizing that this is not working. These people don't have chemistry. With the continued scheduling shakeup, Warner Brothers, it's easy to be frustrated with the latest release date change for Aquaman 2, but looking at the brighter side, the extra time gives the movie the real edge. Well, that's all I want to talk about that. But the other discussions that are coming out is apparently is the Batman issue, because I guess Keaton's Batman might now come out before, what's his name's Batman? Just went blank. I hate when I do that. I can see him in front of me, just Mary J-Lo. So now they're not sure if they're going to reshoot Keaton into the Batman role that they were suggesting was showing up in Aquaman 2. So who knows what's happening there. Ben. So we'll see. We'll see what's going to happen. There's been a lot going on Twitter, and we should probably talk about it a little bit because there's been a lot of triggering. They came out with Johnny doing MTVs, and it almost seems like a bot attack going out with all these retweet quotes, wishing death, wishing harm. Thank you, Ben Affleck. I know. I see it on the wall and it just wouldn't come out. But it's very triggering. There was a TikToker woman, I'm not going to get into that story, that had been videoing quite a bit and people were concerned about her. So we all have a lot of stress right now. If you're here on social media, that's TikTok, Twitter. Even we just saw what happened with Instagram with them attacking that son. Children should be off limits. So please don't get triggered. If this does trigger you, take a break. Step away. Your health comes first. And I've been in my own attack where my family's been doxxed. And that's why I've been posting my family comes first. I have to protect them. And we're doing the best we can after getting a lot of harassment. But anyway, I'm good. I'm thick-skinned. I'm ready for it. But even I have my days. I went through something a long time ago. We've talked about it. I got diagnosed with cancer and it was really rough. And I have to be honest with you, with all that I went through, researching for Johnny and doing all this gave my brain a break to think about something else and not have to think about that. And that really helped. I'll get to that question. And then I saw a doctor and a depression sets in. And I'm not talking about clinical depression. I'm just saying that sometimes things get so tough that you just want to hunker down and stay home. And that becomes too easy, especially with YouTube and other streaming services we have, right? You can sit there and watch TV all day long. You can binge watch series all day long. And it's not healthy. So I talked to my doctor about it, and he said the hardest thing to overcome, and I'm not talking to mental health where you actually need prescriptions, but just you're stressed out. The hardest thing to overcome is inertia. It's so much easier to do nothing than to do something. And Johnny reminded me that he addressed that when he got on Instagram. First time he was talking about COVID. He was talking about find things to do. My kids say they're bored. I have a fit. There's always something you can do. Find something to do. And that's part of really what helps. And I remember my doctor saying, get out and go for a walk. And I'm like, I do walk in the neighborhoods. He goes, no, your neighborhood is too familiar now. Get in the car and drive to a park and walk. Get out and get some air. So it doesn't, being busy doesn't mean you have to start a massive, expensive, big project. It could be just getting out and getting some air and sunshine and putting your computer in your phone in your pocket and not taking it back out, unless, you can maybe listen to some music or a podcast while you're walking. But please, for your own sake, take a break. Take a break. That's why I'm modding so much. It gives me my mind a break from my cancer and treatment. See, I didn't know you had cancer, but I heard it. I mean, I knew you were getting a treatment for something, and I assumed, and now I know. Yeah, and I'm sorry you're going through that, because I went through that, and it's a scary time. And one of the reasons I've got some videos in my pocket to start putting out is because and you'll understand this, going into my now I go every 6 months screenings, and everything's great. Everything's wonderful, but it's just very hard when you have to go through to the Cancer Institute and start having your screenings again, and you expect they'll come out fine. But yeah, I barely leave my flat now. COVID did that to us. We used to go out to dinner all the time. We have a great little downtown area, urban area, with lots of restaurants and art shops and antique stores. And we used to go have dinner and just walk and walk and walk. And we just don't go anywhere anymore. I'm making a joke. I went to the grocery store and we get gas points for discount. And I checked out and she goes, wow, you have like thousands of points you haven't used. And I'm like, I don't drive anywhere anymore to use up gas, which is good because it's expensive, but I'm just not going anywhere. I'm in that spot right now. I haven't left my house in a while. I'm going to meet my brother for dinner tonight. I tell you, I get anxiety having to go past the grocery store now. But please, take a break. Don't let this trigger you so much. The hate is horrendous out there. So true. Inertia is a demon. Took me by surprise when I retired. Yes. It happened to me because we moved here. I left all my friends behind, and my husband, of course, goes from job to job, and he had his social network and he was traveling a lot. And I was just here, not meeting anyone. And then minor accident. I tripped over and fell over some moving boxes and hurt my leg, and I couldn't drive for a month. So I couldn't get out to see the new area. And you get addicted, especially with the binge watching. It's too much. It's too much. No, children should never. This was horrible. And he's a big kid. So people forget he's only 14. He's only 14, and he was getting these, because he made an announcement. He says, look, I'm just a teenager starting high school. I'm on Instagram like all my friends so I can engage. And all my friends are seeing these horrible comments, not just me, coming at me. Yeah, I'm good. Things are getting rough, and I'm hanging in there. So I'm pretty thick-skinned. I'm doing things I've never really done before, and that's block. I'm hiding comments, nasty comments. I don't mean conversational comments, but I mean hateful comments, and blocking people. And it used to be like, you know what? I'll just answer them with the truth. They're claiming this. I'm like, well, what about XYZ? Because I would think if I can't turn them, maybe someone who sees their tweet will see my answer. It's not worth it anymore. I mean, it's really not worth it anymore. The trial is over. And if they're still coming back hateful, you're not going to be able to change them. So for your own health, I am blocking like crazy. Momoa interview. It was on ET Online, and he said nothing. How was Aquaman? It was a lot of fun, a lot of comedy. There's some sadness, and a lot of action. That's all he said about it. That's it. I assume the sadness is because I think Mira's supposed to die in childbirth. Isn't I think that's what she had said. Yeah, that's quite possible. Well, I don't know if he can sue her for damages, but he certainly didn't take off because that's the one thing he wants. Aquaman. But if I remember right, Momoa said he would never do a threesome. He would never do Aquaman 3. And I think James Wan is the same way, that they did not want to get into an Aquaman franchise. But I think what Tug and Andy have been reporting, that they need this Aqua Boy to help further the franchise. So they need a mother for Aqua Boy. Yeah. Oh, Reagan had a liver transplant 9 years ago, and every time I get my blood drawn, I have myself dead and buried. Yeah. Oh, I can relate to that. I'm fine. I mean, as far as I know, I'm fine. I have to take medication every day. I had radiation. I did not have to have chemo. My cancer would not respond to chemo. But it's really hard to go in. Now I go every 6 months, and you're going to this building that says Cancer Institute, and you're going in there and you're seeing very sick people. And there, by the grace of God, goes thee, that I'm okay. And then I'm reminded after my doctor's appointment, well, we had to do this and this and this because you still have the cells in you. We have to make sure we starve them with the medicine I'm taking, which does wreak havoc on me. It puts me in mega menopause, and my hair is thinning, which is terrible. But I have mental lapses that drive me crazy, like I just did with Ben Affleck. Like, I knew who I was talking about. I knew he's there. It's almost like I can see his name on the blackboard and I can't get it out through my mouth. It drives me crazy. And Jax and I used to laugh at that at the podcast, because I would say, Jax, put the word in my mouth, because if I blank on it, it gets worse, because I can't move forward sometimes on it. And that's just part of the way it is. That's part of the way it is. We've been on for an hour and a half. Yeah, please take care of yourself. It's a battle. And remember, Twitter's nothing. Johnny's moved on with his career. We're going to move on with him. We're going to enjoy his movies. We're going to enjoy his music. We're going to enjoy his friends' connections and start building from there. Please don't worry about me. You guys stay healthy. Yeah, everybody. And this is what this channel is here for me. You know, the trial is over, and I realized, now what am I going to do? I don't want this inertia to set in again. This YouTube, don't laugh. Seriously, it makes me get up and shower and put makeup on and put some reasonable clothes on and not live in loungers. So I want to keep doing this, even if it's only 2 videos a week or 3. Keep doing something. Find something you like and keep doing it. I canceled my cable 2 years ago. I have since then read some amazing books. Music in the background, a cup of tea, currently reading C.S. Eliot. I have no Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, only YouTube. Thank you so much, Likeever. That's a huge help. And great advice. Great advice. My mom lives with me. She's 88 years old. So we do watch a lot of TV series together. We try to keep it to just the evenings and not do it all day long. She is, if she had her choice, she would watch CNN or MSM News all day long. She's really into it. And I'm like, I can't watch the same 15-minute cycle of news. Thank you so much. I try to help. These are supposed to be the fun ones, right? These are supposed to be the fun ones, and we ended a little sad. I had a leaking brain hemorrhage and caught it in time and fixed it through brain surgery, but they check yearly for femoral artery. Thank you, Nancy. I'm sorry that's happened to you. And those are scary appointments. And you tell yourself everything is fine because it's always fine, right? They did what they need to do. It's going to be fine. You're doing what you're supposed to be doing. It's going to be fine, but it's scary as hell. Great. Great you found out for yourself, and great for us also. Thank you, Freddie. Thank you so very much. I appreciate it. Yes, it's helpful. Nobody else. Yes, it's got also even sprouting anyone can do, and you can eat a super nutritious. I think I came in the middle of that. You're amazing. You're loving and sweet. Thank you so much. What are some of the other things I'll tell you what the doctor told me that helped? And where's this comment? I can't find it now. Get yourself a planner of some kind. Hold on. so I don't fall on the floor. But I have this planner. I'm just opening up the days. Try and put something on there, if not every day. This is we haven't gotten there yet. This is ahead of time. But try and find something that you can put in every day. Not every day, but a couple days a week. Don't overpromise yourself. Don't overcommit yourself, because it's just sets you up for failure. So if it's going to be a walk, maybe it's on a yellow sticky pad that you can put it on there, so you can move it to the day. Like maybe you planned it, but that day doesn't work. Try to move it and not just cross it out. Whether it's going to walk the mall, go to an antique store, something different, something not necessarily that you're going to spend a lot of money, if that's not, but just something to give some eye candy. That's the way to think about it. Wake your brain up. Wake your brain up. Get out of your usual circle. Having my kids grown and basically gone, I'm on a path for new purpose. It started with purging and organizing my home. Awesome. I'm taking care of my grandkids, and they're keeping me busy. That's for sure. Cancer follow-up scared the crap out of me. I'm working on my sense of humor. No longer take myself so seriously. Yeah. Good for you. I don't think about it that much. I only brought it up because of the stuff I'm seeing on Twitter, how really scary it is. I did this for my podcast. I just a little book, and I wrote notes, and so that we could practice, plan what we were going to do. I do some scrapbooking with the kids, especially the grandchildren. I mean, anything I'm telling you has nothing to do with age. It's just keeping busy. It's taking a class, an online class, a night class to get out even. There's so much. Johnny said it best. Don't be bored. Be active. Do something. And God, at his age, he's doing great. Laughter's the best medicine. Yeah. Those of us are ADD always overpromise ourselves. Yeah, then that planner with the stickies might work better, that it's not written in stone, that you don't overplan yourself. What else can you do? Try new recipes. I got to the point where if it's Friday, it must be pizza. If it's Tuesday, it must be tacos, right? Get a new cookbook and start doing something. Eat differently. Friday night, date night, get a charcuterie board that you can make yourself with your spouse, significant one, girlfriends. Sit and watch a movie and partake in nosh. Not even a sit-down meal, just nosh on it. Try something different, because it helps you plan for it, helps you prepare for it. You have to do the prep work. Stay positive, love yourself. Keep yourself surrounded by good and positive people. That will uplift you. Yeah. I'm sad. I was making some posts about family. I put my family first, and I was sad that a lot of people say, well, my family's we're not that close. We're not happy. We can't build bridges. And family doesn't have to be brother, sister, mother, father. I mean, your family is who's ever giving you the love and support you need right now. That's your family. It doesn't have to be on the birth certificate, so to speak. Be active. I hate him now. How dare he? He needs to go take a nap. I love him again. Yeah, he's doing it a little bit too much, right? I mean, he's had no breaks. He went from the trial to Jeff Beck to the movie to the concert tour. I mean, I hope this guy finds a week at least to go back on his island and chill out. I made a point of trying food I hadn't before, some very expensive food at times. Yeah. Are you talking about cooking or in restaurants? That's fun too. We used to do a cooking group back in the day, and we would each take a different cuisine every month. We didn't do it every week. We did it every month. And we would go and try new things. I did a Japanese night. Laura B. is a survivor too. She had something happen to her body without her permission, and she fought back. Let's hear it for survivors. Thank you. I actually thought when I read it, you were talking about yourself. I did post on Twitter. I waited till after my radiation treatments were finished, and I was sort of on the medicine for a while, because that just threw me for a loop. I'll put a link, if I remember it. I'll put the link of my tweet explaining my kind of cancer. And it was frustrating because it was during COVID, and I could not get a doctor to see me. What else we got? I'm into veganism, graduated from MCD. Is that a type of diet? I don't know. JD needs to spend time with the children. We don't know that he isn't. Now, you remember, my children are grown and gone. They're on their own. Johnny's children are grown and gone and doing careers. They're not going to be coming home for dinner every night anymore. I'm sure he's FaceTiming with them. He seems to be a big FaceTimer. I've seen photos of him. I remember Adam was on his phone. He was FaceTiming Adam when he was walking through the streets. We know he FaceTimed with Josh Richmond. He showed that. He FaceTimes with Robert Downey Jr. It said, so I think he's a big FaceTime. I think that's cool. So please don't assume just because he's not flaunting it in the media every time he talks to his children that he's not very close to them. I know it was leaked after his deposition that he and Jack were on the island together. And I think there was leaked photos of Lily Rose from the French village when Johnny was also there. So please don't assume he's not close to his children. That's just because it's not flaunted. Sending you some mung beans. I've seen them. I don't know how to cook them though. Cooking, and someone sent me caviar from Russia. I love caviar. Robert Downey Jr. pushing us eating bugs. He's lost my support. Okay. He's very protective of him, very much. Lily Rose's career is booming. I mean, it's almost scary booming, the type of role, but good for her. And I'm sure she has Johnny's support and Vanessa's support, mom. They all seem to work very well with their children. And from what I've seen, a few Instagram posts, Jack is very private, but I think of friends of his posts, it seems like he's maybe doing some films. I mean, behind the scenes stuff. I don't want to say director. I'm not sure exactly, but he seems to be doing some stuff, but he's never liked the spotlight. He has always avoided the spotlight. Ooh, Wagyu beef. Love Wagyu beef. Oh, MCD's McDonald's. I had a McDonald's the other day, but don't usually have one unless we're on long road trips. So it's been ages. And usually we only do it because they have clean bathrooms. Wagyu is excellent. I happen to have some friends who actually have a Wagyu cattle ranch, breeding ranch, and he's raising them. So we get it every now and then. Growing up, my family was very close. None of them speak to me now. Oh, that's heartbreaking. We were very close. We're still close, but we don't live near each other. So I only see like my sister twice a year, if I'm lucky. But I also only see my son 2 or 3 times a year, depending on if you can travel. But we FaceTime. Dinner every night. I'm FaceTiming with my son and my grandson and my daughter-in-law. How are we all doing? Meditation, breathing exercises, beneficial. Check out Wim Hof. He's also into cold water therapy. I assume he might be on YouTube. You can Google it. Google it. I think we're doing good. I hope I haven't missed any super chats. I haven't seen any more. Cooking is so much fun. I only wish I had the money for the ingredients. Still, I can think of beef and caviar. And when I'm cooking rice and the cheapest pork and chicken I can find. You know what's nice about cooking if you want an outlet is find something that has a lot of simple ingredients like stir fries where you're chopping bolognese, Alfredo type things, with a lot of vegetables, so that you're seeing a lot of color, you're getting a lot of vibrancy, and it's not necessarily a lot of money. My son FaceTimes me when he gets home, I guess from his own home, that you're not in the same home, because don't laugh. My kids have FaceTimed me from upstairs when they were all living together, would text me from upstairs, whichever. I'm lucky both my parents are still together. They live a few streets over from me. Our houses are very close. We have dinner most nights together. That's sweet. That is so nice. So nice. My dad got cancer and passed away when he was 59. He went to respiratory arrest when they gave him his first chemo treatment. And my daughter had just been born premature in Europe, and we hadn't gotten home in time. So my daughter and I never got to know my dad. And her other granddad has passed away. And she gets to see my mother is here and very active and great with the kids. So, got to watch some Joan Rivers later. Nothing like a good laugh to reduce stress. Absolutely. Absolutely. So how are we doing? We good? I think we covered a lot of topics. My next video comes out Monday, will be the full coverage of New York Marine Insurance versus Amber Heard. We have not seen much movement on that. We have not seen that Amber was actually served the lawsuit. So it hasn't moved forward. However, we just saw that Travelers Insurance has now filed to combine the two lawsuits. And it's almost 3 lawsuits, actually. So Travelers Insurance sued New York Marine. New York Marine later countersued Travelers. Now, this was all before the trial took place. After the judgment was recorded, New York Marine sued Amber Heard. The judge in that case, when he filed the suit, when the first judge got assigned to it, said, you know what, there's another lawsuit going over here that's way too similar, way overlap. I'm going to send it to that judge. So that judge has been overseeing the Travelers lawsuit, New York Marine counterclaim, and then the New York Marine Amber Heard lawsuit. They just filed to combine it. So we'll see what happens. It kind of makes sense because a lot of it will overlap. A lot of the discovery will overlap. It's going to be very protected and private because of the ongoing appeal, because there's going to be a lot of emails between they're going to bring up a lot of emails between her counselors, her lawyers and stuff because it's all about defending her. And they're going to have to keep that private. I am so sorry. Oh, thank you, everyone. It's been nice to be here. Yeah, no, this is one I was clicking on. I was pregnant with my youngest when my parents died. It's very sad. You never know what the future brings. You have today. Have a great weekend. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, comment. I'm here. I appreciate you so much. Do we have anything to celebrate? I don't think so. Nope, we didn't make it. We're not up there. We didn't hit the 20,000. Maybe next week. We're close. We're about 10 off. Yeah, and I'm going to keep going for as long as I can find some interesting stuff to talk about. I have another video I'm putting together about the movie Johnny's doing, Modi, for the Italian artist. So I'm putting that one together and researching it. So I'm going to let everybody go. I'm going to do my sign out. Have a great weekend. Have a great and wonderful weekend. We've all learned it, that's for sure. And take a break from social media sometimes. Thank you, everybody, and take care.